Good afternoon, everyone. Happy full moon. We are in the full moon window. I'll be back later with a full moon astrology reading. Right now, I am here to offer my Wise Women Lead comments. I saw something in my news feed today that I absolutely had to share, and it was such a beautiful reinforcement of something that I've been working on these past few months, something that I've become aware of. It has to do with failure. So I'm going to take a moment to share this video in my group, Wise Women Lead, and then we will get right into it. Let's see. Oh, I have to. Yeah, refresh. I wish there's... Nope, I can't. It doesn't look like I can share while, from this screen. So I have to do it. Hang on, where are you? Here we go. The title of today's talk is Wise Women Embrace Failure. And that might sound surprising. Wise women leaders embrace failure. And here we are. All right, wise women leaders embrace failure. Why are we talking about that? I'm going to share a quote. This, I believe it was a paraphrase of this translation of a poem by Antonio Machado. And this is one of his verses. And I actually posted it on my wall. So if you go to Carla Sanders' Cosmic Crone page, you will see this extraordinary artwork by, I've forgotten her name, somebody Sky, and it's a woman drenched. She's draped in honeycomb and drenched in honey, and it's exquisite. Honey and bees are so much a part of my spiritual path and my spiritual circle. It's bees have been important to me for a long time, and it just seems like the further I go on my spiritual path, the more they show up as metaphors, as symbols, as teachers, as guides, and as helpers. And so I honor the bees. And this is Machado's poem. This version that I'm going to read, this is just one verse, translated by Robert Bly. Last night, as I was sleeping, I dreamt marvelous error. I dreamt that I had a beehive here inside my heart, and the golden bees were making white combs and sweet honey from my old failures. The golden bees were making white combs and sweet honey from my old failures. One reason women have trouble aligning with the vision is we can get tripped up in what we believe to be our old failures. We can look back on mistakes, things that didn't work out as we'd hoped, things for which we were judged or abused or that were simply disappointed. Maybe we made a mistake, or maybe the timing was off, or maybe someone else from the outside criticized us and made us look at what was going on as if we were a failure. We tend to grab those, hold on, let them define us, beat ourselves up, and then every time we keep striving to grow, we keep moving forward, because that is the force of life within us. We can't help but keep going. And yet we drag those perceived failures with us. And we're measuring what's going on right now by what happened then. And it's really difficult to stay aligned with the vision when you keep comparing yourself to yourself and kind of anticipating and even inviting another failure. So what if, instead of looking back at our failures and judgment and using it as an excuse to even squash the vision, like the vision never happened, the calling never happened, or to limit ourselves in what we expect of ourselves? We expect failure, and we're in this push-pull, this go forward, hold back pattern, and we're going forward while dragging the beliefs that got engendered during those past experiences, got reinforced during those past experiences. We're carrying around the failure, and there is no way that carrying around failure and judging ourselves for it can keep us in alignment with the vision, and nor does it allow us to blossom and come forth and be visible and effective as wise women leaders. So I, of course, have been working. I have been working on expansion. I have been working on growing in discovering who is Cosmic Crone, who is Carla Sanders, and who am I now that I'm at this place of Cronedom. And I absolutely feel that I am in the space, time, and era and time of life that I was born for. At 64 years, I have been breathing and stepping and moving and growing and failing my way into this point of my life. Now is what I was born for. And so if I am going to carry the past with me right here and look at my vision, my desires, my purpose through this cloudy murk of failure and things, all the ways I didn't measure up, all the ways I couldn't do it, then how far am I going to get? So I like the image of compost. As a gardener, I compost, and I love to feed the worms. And I also have a worm bin. So I have an outdoor compost and a worm bin. And when I'm working with clients energetically, we have practices where we send things that have metabolized into the cosmic compost heap to be transmuted and transformed. So I do that. And so my preferred, up until today, my preferred metaphor for understanding that failure is what is it that we learned in NLP training? There is no failure, only feedback. So failure is a kind of feedback. It's a learning experience. It's a gathering experience. And inside of every failure, you can pull streams and streams of success. You can look at what you learned. You can look at what went right. You can take your focus off of what you hoped would happen and look at what did happen and realize that there were many gifts and many successes within that experience. And some of them might be painful in your face. Oh my gosh, this is a pattern in my life that it's time for me to grow out of this pattern. What do I need to do to shift? What kind of work? Do I need to work with someone? Do I need some healing? Do I need to learn some new skills? And the answer is almost always to all of those, yes, yes, yes. Because we never stop, and we can always use support to catch us. This is what's going on with me now. I'm working with a coach who catches me when I'm beating up on myself, when I'm looking at something as a pure, unadulterated failure, which must mean I suck. And she catches me because I will hide the truth from myself. I will hide the truth of my greatness, and I will hide the truth of I'm beating myself up, and will hide the truth of there's something that I need to look at here, and I could just ball it up and say failure and just keep carrying the thing, or I could look at the thing and say there's something here that's showing up, it keeps on showing up. Look at it without judgment and find the honey in it. And so now we're kind of shifting from the cosmic compost where failure becomes the soil, the rich soil through which our next project, our next vision, our vision grows and blossoms and bears fruit in the compost of our failures. But what if we look at it as honey? There was a hive of bees, golden bees in my heart, making white honeycomb and golden honey. One way that I began to look at it as I pondered today was the intention of bees is to make honey, to feed the hive through the winter. So that's success. That is nourishing the hive. That is the success of the hive. Nothing else that goes on in the hive can work without the honey. And the comb. The comb is the home. It's the nurseries, the incubators, and the places where they store the food. It's where they make the babies and store the food. So if your failures are going to be gathered by the bees in your heart and your soul to become honey, to become success, and in fact, you can really say there is no failure because it becomes honey. And it's not just that all those failures from way back all the way up to this morning, yesterday, whatever your most recent failure was, it's not even that, okay, now we're going to take all those things and we're going to become success. Oh, it is transmuting your life experience, your life force, your risk-taking, your desire and your action towards your desire. It is transmuting all of that into golden, sweet honey. It just is. It just is. You are a honey maker. And all of your experiences are honey makers. And when you can see all of your experience, past, current, and the ones that you're planning as the process of making honey out of life, then you are in alignment with your vision and you are feeding the part of yourself that is called to function and show up as a leader. Wise women lead. And now I have some bees to go tend to. I will be back a little bit later with an astrology reading. Thank you for being here. Bye.